December the 31st. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah, we are right on the cusp of a brand new year. And today we wanted to just take a moment and really talk to you about the plan for change. No, I'm just kidding. We're done with the, it's no longer, no more change series.
Yeah.
No, what are we doing today?
We are recapping the year and what God did through our church, for our church this year. And so, walk down memory lane.
Yeah, so we've each kind of came up with our own top 5 list, and some of them are the same, and some of them are different. So right now, even while you're watching this, maybe you're watching it live, or maybe you're watching it after the fact. But regardless, just go ahead and drop your top 5, top 3 things related to Vertical Church that happened in 2023 down in the chat below, and share what did you really enjoy about 2023. And so we'll go ahead and so why don't you start? What was we each got 5 things, and these are in no particular order.
No.
At least mine aren't.
No.
Okay. So you go ahead. What was one of your top 5 things?
So this year in January, we always do our 21 days of prayer and fasting, and that's looked different over the years. And this year we added Sunday night worship nights. Sorry, the dogs decided to come in to the room at the same time. Did y'all know we have dogs? Have we ever talked about that? Okay, bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So anyway, this past January, we decided to invite some of the local worship leaders that we've partnered with in the past and invite them into our worship nights on Sunday nights. And man, those were really powerful worship nights and times in the Lord, and it was just a really good time. So that's like on my top list. Yeah.
And that's actually one of mine as well. I loved the atmosphere on those Sunday evenings. I thought it was so rich and so full, and really, I thought it set us up, happening there at the beginning of the year for the whole year.
Yeah.
Like it really positioned us, because if I look at 2023, really, I mean, we even started with the series on worship, and doing those worship nights. It kind of became a year of that, of really leaning into the presence of God even more, and going that way. And the people we brought in from different places, Bethany, Chelsea and Alan, such great people.
Yeah.
I mean, just love those people, and incredible leaders and worshipers, really, of God, and it was just a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
So cool. Let me go next, and let me do one that's just kind of personal. Again, these are in no particular order, but for me, one of the things that was really special about 2023 was in September. The first Sunday in September, when Johan Jurovich preached his very first sermon. So Johan's done prayers and ministry moments, and led us in those worship transitions.
And shared his testimony before.
But there's a difference between sharing your testimony and preaching a sermon. And it was just really special for me.
It was awesome.
To see that anytime somebody is stepping into a new aspect of their calling, the way God is leading them, and stepping into that, that's always really cool as a pastor.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It was awesome to see that, and he did a great job, and that is no small thing. That is like another level of just obedience and surrender to the Lord, to be vulnerable in that way and share a sermon. And so, really proud of him, excited for him in that step. So it was great. So my next favorite thing was Springfest.
Oh, gosh.
We amazingly, the Lord planted that idea and that seed early on in the year, and our team came together around it, and it was just, I think it was so much, we were hoping for great things, but it was so much better than we even imagined. And just just that fellowship with the people of the community that day was just really awesome. So.
Yeah, it was great. We actually, on a staff level, because of Springfest, instituted a new policy
Yeah.
of like the deadline for ideas to be generated.
Yes.
Because and I obviously take responsibility for that. It was the seed of that was my idea, and I think we started with like 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was super.
It was so crazy.
We pulled it off. And then thank you to all of you who at the last minute just jumped in and you were like, I'll do whatever you need. Or you showed up, you're like, my thing got canceled and what do you need? Because it was just this crazy, like, you don't want chaos. You don't plan for chaos. You plan to avoid it. But it was a chaotic, just bundle of joy that day. It was great.
And there was so many more people than we expected.
Yes,
that showed up for that.
And the special needs egg hunt
That
was a hit.
awesome.
So I think we will like forever do that because we actually, I mean, there were moments of tears, just observing that and experiencing that interaction, and just the grateful hearts that we saw in the people in our community for even providing that and offering that. And so, yeah, I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. That was one of my favorite things as well. And again, you said it, but thank you. Like I could try to start just naming people, but I would miss somebody, and so I don't want to do that. But so many more people showed up to that than we planned. But like, let's go ahead and like plug Springfest 2024 coming in March. So
before Easter, before spring break, don't worry.
So just go ahead right now and mark every Saturday in March as potential Springfest Day.
Just decide we're in.
We're in.
We haven't. That's a priority.
And we need you.
Yes.
If last year was any indication, we need you because I think did we say like 500 people? 400 people?
Yeah,
I don't even remember
it was at least 500 people.
And so we need you.
Well, 500 egg hunt bracelets we gave out.
Something
That's
like
what
that.
it was.
It was crazy.
Yeah, so there would have been even more. And if you were involved in helping with that, comment on the video and tell people, get out there, do it. It was worth it. It was awesome. It was so much fun.
And if you were there, what was your favorite thing? Favorite part about Springfest? Just you mentioned the special needs egg hunt, which was super cool. I got to be out in the middle of the field for the very last egg hunt, and it was just pandemonium. Kids coming from every corner, just rushing. So bigger fields, more eggs, 2024. Yes. So let's see, another one that I know that we share. So let's kind of go that route again. Is Revival Con.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. I mean, what do you say about that? That was just such a special weekend. And Dr. Lee just brought the word and then ministering in the altars and seeing the kids just respond. In fact, afterwards, probably 2 months later, I think, I had lunch with Dr. Lee. And I was asking him about our church and what he saw when he was here for that weekend and what he experienced and if the Lord revealed anything to him. And how open is our church to the move of the Spirit, stuff like that. And he commented about the kids. It was so special because he said that he felt like our church was really open to a move of the Spirit, more so than other places, because we didn't stop the kids. That's one of the things he said. He said nobody tried to stop the kids from coming and experiencing the presence of the Lord, and no one was worried. No one was frustrated or aggravated or fearful or anything like that. We just allowed them to encounter God, and they did. And he said that's such a good, healthy sign of a community that's open to the move of the Spirit. And so such a cool weekend and moment. What about you for Revival Con?
I think it's just it was an experience, an event, a kind of a taste of things to come. That's how the whole weekend felt. It was like, this is amazing, and we're all in, and that feeling too of just every team, every person being all in, showing up. I mean, you guys were showing up early prior to the hey, report to your team at this time. You guys were showing up early, just saying like, we're just ready for the next service. We're just ready to do this again. We're ready for the next thing. And there was just such a hunger in that. And even like you were talking about our kids, like the kids went on to, I remember just being kind of nearby at the altar area after service one night, one of the services, and the kids are sitting around in a circle, and they're like, and how did it feel for you? And oh, I was crying, or I just felt like I was shaking, I was just so, and that was just so beautiful and cute and sweet and just, wonderful, and reminds me of the moment in the New Testament where Jesus is surrounded by the children.
Yeah.
Because, and the adults are like, oh, let's just, should we, they don't need to bother him or whatever. And he's like, no, let them come to me. And, just even thinking back to that story in the Bible, like, those kids' lives would have been forever changed because their parents allowed them to approach this man, who they maybe didn't even totally understand who he was. I mean, we know they didn't. So,
yeah. It was great. So, again, we said Springfest 2024, RevivalCon 2024, summer, August time frame, somewhere around there. Just stay tuned for details, right? All right, so next thing, something else for you.
I really thought our mental health sermon series was really effective and powerful. I think that was, just to kind of give props to you for just your obedience and stepping out into kind of unknown territory. I mean, that was kind of like, okay, no one else is talking about this, at least not in church, it doesn't seem like. And we had a lot of just testimony from people in the church who were really moved and felt their life in Christ grow in that time because they felt like they were set free from some of the stigma they felt like they had dealt with as trying to be a Christian, but also struggling with these things. And I just thought it was a really powerful series, and in the obedience to go forward with it and do it and step out there and talk about things that frankly make people kind of squirm and uncomfortable. We saw the blessing of God on that. We saw the Lord move in people's lives as a result. So
and according to you on our Facebook group, Vertical Church Friends and Family, which if you're watching this and you're not part of that group, request and join us there. It's where a lot of kind of interaction happens, and pictures that don't get posted and stuff that happens there. But according to you in that group, that was tied for people's favorite series of the year. That and the Awe of God that we did in the fall from the John Bevere book. But it was a great series. It was challenging on my end to kind of dive into that material. I'm in no means an expert. There are people in our church that are more equipped to have those conversations, but we felt like that's where the Lord was leading. So something else for me, the other thing that we don't share, I mean, that doesn't mean you don't think it's a great moment, but I really enjoyed repainting the Crisis Pregnancy Center wing. Because of the scope of the project, there wasn't actually that many people who could participate, and so there's just a few of us. But just being on those Saturdays, doing something that, quite honestly, didn't necessarily benefit our community in a tangible way. It benefited our community spiritually and in an intangible way. Being out there serving, making a difference, helping an organization that helps so many other people. Was just special and fun. We had a lot of great conversations just happening there in the hallways as we're repainting and taping and stuff. But just doing that kind of outreach project, I thought was just really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you've got one more thing. Is that right?
Yeah. My one more thing is Tuesday night prayer meetings. Those have been just really, really great times that we look forward to. And if you've never been to one, we will continue those starting in January. And it's just a really warm and healing and intimate time in the Lord. And I love the freedom we have in that to just come in. We give a little bit of just, hey, if you don't know what to pray about, here's some things, here's how to pray about this, da da da. But there's no like restriction on how or what you're supposed to pray about. And so you can come in from maybe, carrying something, with you from the last week. And, just lay it at the feet of Jesus and just, and then at the end, just the times we've come together and, people have needs or maybe there's needs in our church and we just bring those in and lay hands on people and pray. And we've heard testimony coming out of those. And so, I think that has been we felt the Lord say to make that a priority. And so we did it. And, we just pray blessing over Greenbrier Presbyterian Church. Yeah. They've completely, given us the freedom to do those meetings there at no charge. They don't, charge us anything. They're so kind in that, and it's just been great.
Yeah, and on that note, I think it's January the 9th, those resume as part of our 21 days of prayer and fasting. Yeah. And so, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Beginning January 9th, again, every Tuesday night. So I actually have a bonus sixth one.
Oh, okay.
And this is totally selfish and personal. Okay. Last January was the first time in the history of Vertical Church that I won the Fantasy Football League. Finding Debo.
Well, praise the Lord.
I've been so close, y'all. So close. And I finally broke through. The Lord has given breakthrough, and I'm set up again this year. Now, I say that, and pride comes before a fall. So I may have already lost by the time people watch this video. It's entirely possible. But, thank you for just taking that trip down 2023. It's been super fun just thinking about what we experienced in church, what the Lord did in people's lives. And we've seen healings, we've seen miracles, breakthrough, all kinds of stuff we didn't even get to. We were about
I was just going to say, one kind of takeaway from this reflection time that we've had, you might be like, well, that wasn't very spiritual, that was just, y'all are just, talking about good times. No, if you have a journal or, just create one, start one. 2024 is the journaling year for you. Yeah. Just reflect on what the Lord's done in your life this year, or reflect on what He's done in our church. You write down your own highlights to the year, and then just, out of that, ask Him to show you what He wants. How does He want you to position your heart for 2024? Some people have like a word that the Lord gives them, and they just kind of, put it over their year, and they're like, okay, God, show me how you're going to, do this year. But also just asking Him, like, how do you want me to prepare my heart for 2024? I think going into, of course, Christmas and New Year's and all that are happening, but going into the 21 days of prayer and fasting kind of intentionally rather than like, maybe the first week trying to catch up and get your heart ready is just really helpful. Just to look forward to it. Enjoy your time with your family, all the food you're going to eat, all of that over the holidays, but then just kind of always thinking, but then this, this time is set aside for the Lord in this way, and allow Him to speak into that. So
well, that's awesome. That's a really good word there, just to end on and to wrap up on. So one last thing, just as a reminder, January the 7th. Yeah. Do not miss church. Yeah. In fact, what we've done is we have brought in for that day
Yeah.
outside childcare, so that everybody,
Yeah.
every adult,
Every 7-year-old and
No.
above.
can be in the room.
Yeah.
Because it's a really important day, and so we want to see you there. January the 7th, Sunday morning, 11 a.m. We'll see you there, and have a happy new year. Be safe tonight, y'all, and we'll see you in